And then I'm going to talk about, in this video, we're going to talk about immigrating from Africa versus investing yourself in Africa. So, we have seen many people actually immigrating Africa and leaving Africa and going to other places across the world. So, and we have seen that, okay, these people spend a lot of money just to move from you. We can go through the pro and the cons of this because these people spend a lot of money, a lot of thousands of dollars which are spent actually on immigrating. So my question is today, is it actually benefitable to move from Africa at such a cost and to come to Europe? Or is it better for the person to have the actual knowledge to invent themselves where they are in Africa or wherever it might be in the world, in what people call as the third world countries? Is it better for them to invest themselves there, or is it better for them to really leave the country where they are? Now, some of the reasons people leave, they're just not economical. They might be political as well. So if somebody's life is being threatened, I will not really advise them to be in the country in which they are. And I will do the same myself. I will leave that country and go and look for safety somewhere else. But again, if the reason is economical, I really suggest that the money that you're going to spend for immigrating to another place, if there is a way that, or to Europe in this case, if there is a way that you can really invest in the country that you are. Because as for me, as an African, I know that many of our diaspora spend a ton of money. They go from, I don't know, any country, and they go through the desert, especially sub-Saharan countries, because they go through the desert. And in the process, they face a lot of difficulties in the way. You have people harassing them and raping them, and some of them risk lives because they die in the desert. We have seen pictures of people dying in the desert. So all these horrible things which happen, people put their life at risk just to cross over the desert and to come in Europe. And that journey is not guaranteed. Many of them die in the sea. Many of them die in the American army or police hands. Many of them die in the Spanish police authorities' hands. So the question is it really worthy for us to cross the desert and to come to Europe? Is it really worthy? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Because is really Europe what most of the people think it is? Because the stereotype that people have is that Europe is this heaven, where you have everything. It's so good that life is it just flows by itself. I'll tell you that's just a lie. I live myself in Norway, but I'll tell you that's a lie. Europe is not all about that. Europe is about really, it's tough. It's tough. Your education, which counted here in Europe, which means you have to start anew again. You have to start studying, if that's one thing. Secondly, if you are not going to study, you have actually to start sweeping the floor. And even that sweeping the floor, it requires education in some part of Europe as well. So you need some papers. I was talking to a brother in Finland, and he was telling me that people need education to really have to be cleaners in Finland. So again, here in Norway, for example, you have to study the language, which can take you up to 2 years. You are studying the language, and that's alone only if you are accepted. So you are asylum seeker. As an asylum seeker, it can take you up to 10 years. Yes, up to 10 years before you are accepted. So it's not easy. And sometimes you can live here for 10 years and they take you back to your own country where you came from. So you have wasted a lot of time in searching first for the money which we're going to use to travel from Africa into Europe. Secondly, the time is very valuable. The time which you could have used, I don't know, traveling time from there, let's say, okay, it took you, I don't know, 2 years to travel from through the desert and all that. And then before you come to Europe, it took, let's say, 2 years. The 2 years you could have been doing something very profitable. And then you come to Europe, it takes you, I don't know, 10 years or 7 years or I don't know, before you can even be accepted as a citizen here. That takes you at I don't know, 14 years or something like that. So the question is all this hustle worth it? Or is it better to remain in Africa and to invest yourself? These questions you can only answer yourself, but as for me, I wouldn't really risk my life for Europe. No. I would really reinvest myself with the money that I have, put it into business in Africa because there are so many good opportunities in the continent. I myself am planning to go back in the continent and invest there. Invest. Because there are so many good opportunities on the continent. You can do so many good things. Look, for example, here, we live just for bills. It's you live from the first to the 30th. You are just depending on bills. You have to pay bills every day. That's the rhythm here. Unless you create other means, other different means whereby you can actually have a side hustle and do something, or invest in real estate whereby you can have something. But mostly in Europe, it's all bills, 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 taxes, 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 and it goes on. So most of the people here, many many African people who are in Africa, they think that we in Europe have a lot of money, but that is not true. I can tell you that people are suffering right here. They are suffering. They come from Africa. All they're thinking is back home, sending money back home. And at the end of the day, they don't have money because all they're doing is just taking care of you back there home and investing, trying to reinvest back home. But that's a wrong strategy. So just back to our story again, I would really, really, really do what? I would really invest back home the money that I would have used to actually travel to Europe. And by the time that I would have used 7 years just traveling to come to Europe, and plus 7 other years just to be accepted as a citizen, that time alone would have allowed me to create, I don't know, a 1,000 times benefits of that money. I could have multiplied that money into a great deal instead of, wasting that time for nothing. Because when I invest myself in the country, when I invest myself in the continent, then I can travel anywhere I want. You see, I can travel anywhere I want, anytime I want, and I can even invest in Europe. You just need to have the financial investment. So there is so many things you can invest in our continent. You can be a real estate developer. You can create a shop. Chinese just come there with nothing, and they build mansions. How do they do it? Hard work and strategies of investment. You can do farming in Africa. It just works very well. Chinese farm in their countries and they come and they sell it to us. Europeans farm chickens and then they come and sell it to us when it's already expired. But you can do a good farm and give the best product to the people, which can be appreciated, and that will bring you money. It will bring you really, really good returns. So the thing is, we have to think, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it for you to work so hard just to come to Europe? I think that's craziness to work hard to invest yourself so that you can just come to Europe. What are you going to come to do anywhere here? Us, there are people who live on the street. They have nothing. They just live across on the street. Well, I wouldn't do that. I really invest myself, and do something which is really profitable. Because what matters at the end of the day is that my financial stability is assured. And my financial stability is only assured through good investment strategies. That's why we're asking you to actually subscribe on this channel and be part of this journey so that we can share good investment strategy stories. You know, we have heard Moroccans killing our African brothers recently and how they were shot and dead in the desert there. Why wasting so much lives on something which does not pay? We waste a lot of time on things which cannot pay. But we can do something, little things, which can change our life, taking that money which we have. It's maybe Naira or something like that. Take the money that you have and really invest it in good business. Yeah. And investment starts with small things. Start with a small and you will grow to become bigger. So please, that's my take of today. Share this story. Is it necessary for you to come to Europe, or should you invest the money that you're going to use for Europe in your business? Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Please share this story and see you on the next one.